Hey family, how are you doing? My name is Tiffany and welcome to my channel. So I just got done watching the 4th Democratic debate and we have to talk about it.
Mr. Yang, do you think there's already enough evidence out there to impeach the president? Please respond.
I support impeachment, but we shouldn't have any illusions that impeaching Donald Trump will, one, be successful, or two, erase the problems that got him elected in 2016. We're standing in the great state of Ohio, the ultimate purple state, the ultimate bellwether state. Why did Donald Trump win your state by 8 points? Because we got rid of 300,000 manufacturing jobs in your towns, and we're not stopping there. How many of you have noticed stores closing where you work and live here in Ohio? Raise your hands. It's not just you. Amazon alone is closing 30% of America's stores and malls, soaking up $20 billion in business while paying zero in taxes. These are the problems that got Donald Trump elected, the 4th industrial revolution. And that is going to accelerate and grow more serious regardless of who is in the Oval Office. The fact is, Donald Trump, when we're talking about him, we are losing. We need to present a new vision, and that even includes talking about impeaching Donald Trump.
I think Andrew did such a great job with this response because he didn't just leave it to hang around talking about Trump. He talked about how 300,000 Ohioans had lost their jobs due to automation already. So they really felt the effects of automation more than anyone else really right now. And he let everyone know that it's just gonna get worse because that's just the beginning. That's just the tipping point. We're about to lose so many jobs in the next 10 years. Now, the moderators were actually asking Yang questions in this debate.
Mr. Yang, your main solution to job loss from automation is a universal basic income. Why is giving people $1,000 a month better than Sanders' plan to guaranteeing them a job?
When I actually heard it, I was just like, wow, okay, this is real. This is happening. Like, the moderators are actually being fair. It was amazing.
I am for the spirit of a federal jobs guarantee, but you have to look at how it would actually materialize in practice. What are the jobs? Who manages you? What if you don't like your job? What if you're not good at your job? The fact is, most Americans do not want to work for the federal government. And saying that that is the vision of the economy of the 21st century, to me, is not a vision that most Americans would embrace.
Now, after this amazing question and him landing the difference between the freedom dividend and the federal jobs guarantee, they asked him about the wealth tax.
Mr. Yang, your response, would you oppose a wealth tax?
Senator Warren is 100% right that we're in the midst of the most extreme winner-take-all economy in history. And a wealth tax makes a lot of sense in principle. The problem is that it's been tried in Germany, France, Denmark, Sweden, and all those countries ended up repealing it because it had massive implementation problems and did not generate the revenue that they'd projected. If we can't learn from the failed experiences of other countries, what can we learn from?
That made me literally almost cry because I was like, what? Federal jobs guarantee, amazing. But the wealth tax too, he was really able to target Bernie and Warren's plans and why his plan is just way more effective and direct when it comes to helping the American people. And I think that he really executed really well. Even when Elizabeth was responding to Andrew Yang and saying that she really didn't know about the numbers, like, I just loved his response.
Thank you, Senator
I
Warren.
see this as an important question about I want to understand the data on this.
Senator,
and
thank you very much.
We're responding to make this work.
Your time is up. I want to give Congress.
I just love that response because even though they're having a debate, like, he's like, yo, like, this is real life. Like, these are real life facts. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, this is real. Okay, you don't know the facts. It's cool. It's all right if you don't know the facts. Let me tell you the facts. Now, in this debate, Andrew was doing a little bit of interrupting. One of the times that he interrupted was when they were talking about Elizabeth Warren calling automation a good story, which when they were talking about this and the other candidates were putting in their little 2 cents, I was just like, Andrew, say something. And he did.
For child care instead of having to pay 20% of their income for it.
Senator Warren, I've been talking to Americans around the country about automation, and they're smart. They see what's happening around them. Their Main Street stores are closing. They see a self-serve kiosk in every McDonald's, every grocery store, every CVS. Driving a truck is the most common job in 29 states, including this one. 3.5 million truck drivers in this country, and my friends in California are piloting self-driving trucks. What is that going to mean for the 3.5 million truckers or the 7 million Americans who work in truck stops, motels, and diners that rely upon the truckers getting out and having a meal? Saying this is a rules problem is ignoring the reality that Americans see around us every single day.
Boom, 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 boom. Like, it was just great. They also talked about the opioid epidemic.
You want to decriminalize the possession and use of small amounts of opioids, including heroin. How would that solve the crisis?
That's exactly right. And we have to recognize this is a disease of capitalism run amok. There was a point when there were more opiate prescriptions in the state of Ohio than human beings in the state of Ohio. And for some reason, the federal government thought that was appropriate. They ended up levying a $600 million fine against Purdue Pharma, which sounds like a lot of money, until you realize that company made $30 billion. They got a 2% fine, and they killed tens of thousands of Americans 8 an hour. So if the government turned a blind eye to this company spreading a plague among its people, then the least we can do is put the resources to work in our communities so our people have a fighting chance to get well. Even though this is not a money problem, we all know this is a human problem.
And Ohio is a part of that region that has been hit with the opioid addiction extremely hard. The other senators and congressmen and women that were on the stage, they were really affirming Andrew's position, even though we already know what Andrew's saying is real. For people who really don't trust him because he's not a politician, it was just great because the things that he was saying, other politicians were agreeing, really like bringing attention and really finally accepting like, yes, this is happening, this is real. So for those people who are like, oh, he's just saying this stuff, then a politician comes in right behind him and they're like,
yeah, I agree with Andrew.
That person is like, oh, wow, okay, I thought he was just making stuff up, but no, he's being for real. Like, he's being serious. Like, this stuff is legit happening. They were talking about big tech and breaking it up. He did say he's not really one way or another when it comes to breaking up tech, but he did say that we shouldn't break up tech because we want competition, because realistically, and his example was so true, who wants to use the fourth best navigation site? And he threw a little bit of shade at Bing, and I was just like, okay, then I see you. You want to throw a little bit of shade in the debate? It was so cool. It was interesting. Add a little bit more of his personality, let you know he's a jokester. He also interrupted another time when they were talking about data and it being a property right, because as you know, that is one of the policies that he has, because he is really adamant about technology and us just really recognizing the power that it has and the influence it's going to have in our future. So he interrupted, put his 2 cents about that.
The best way we can fight back. The best way we can fight back against big tech companies is to say our data is our property. Right now, our data is worth more than oil. How many of you remember getting your data check in the mail? It got lost. It went to Facebook, Amazon, Google. If we say this is our property and we share in the gains, that's the best way we can balance the scales against the big tech companies.
And I just thought, you know, again, it landed. It was great. It was super great. I loved his responses. I think he did so amazing. And I love the fact that he really interrupted this time. And if you've been watching Andrew Yang from the first debate until now, you can just really see the evolution, how the first debate, he was really just trying to, like, you know, get comfortable, put his toe in the water, know what's up. But in this debate, he was like, all right, then I'm going to jump in there and take a bite when I can. When it's something that he knew information about, that he'd looked up the statistics and that he was knowledgeable on, he wanted to get in there, take a bite out of it, and really show like, hey, you know what? These are the problems. I know the problem. Let me help you diagnose them. The closing question / statement was about unlikely friendship. And if you're a part of the Yang gang, you know that Andrew was talking about Fred the Felon. And if you don't know Fred the Felon, what have you been doing? You need to go find out about Fred the Felon. He's a trucker that Andrew drove around Iowa with and really opened his eyes to the life of a trucker. So make sure you go check him out. He's actually right now decaled his entire truck with Yang paraphernalia on the outside just to draw more attention to him. And he's always doing stuff like this to bring more attention to Andrew Yang. He's got this giant Yang bobblehead that he wears. I mean, it's really exciting. I love Fred the Felon and everything that he does to bring the attention to the Yang gang and all things Yang. During the closing, you found out that Yang's debate surprise was that he's going to be responding to questions on Friday the 18th for 10 hours on his website, Yang 2020. Now, I think this is really exciting because, as he said, some questions weren't able to be answered because there were so many candidates, even though it was 3 hours. As you can see, Yang didn't really get the most speaking time. He also didn't get the least, so I don't really want to complain, but you can see he's still part of the bottom percentage there, but it's all good. no problem, you know, we're doing better. We know we're doing bigger and better things every time. Next time, who knows? But we already know that Andrew doesn't need a lot of time for his policies to land because they are so direct and they really do hit home. So I don't really complain that much about the time, because I think out of all the debates, he actually did the absolutely best on this debate. He really was able to concise his message to the people and really direct it back to what people are actually struggling with, instead of just having some nice anecdotes and, you know, saying this and that just to really sound nice on camera and like good zingers to be able to snapshot and cut up into something. He was talking about issues that people are actually dealing with. So that was cool. That was lit. So I ride with Andrew. I think he's amazing. I think of all the debates, this was the best one. It was so exciting. I love that he interrupted, and I think he interrupted in the best way possible. He differentiated himself from Warren and Sanders without attacking either one of them, just with straight facts. And I just loved that so much. I think that Andrew Yang was the winner of this debate, not just because of his performance, but because he brought the issue of UBI to the front stage. If you saw the first debate or even the last debate, you know that UBI and the $1,000 freedom dividend was really a joke among all the candidates. But now you can see in this debate it was being brought up. They were discussing it and the difference between that and the jobs guarantee, and you could see other candidates endorsing it, because like if you look at the statistics, if you look at the studies, all the pilot programs that have been done in other countries, even here in the US, it just has such amazing success rate. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. I get it. It costs a lot, and that's what always freaks people out. But I just love that he also was able to slide in there his VAT, and how the VAT is just the best way for us to be able to use the resources that we're going to be gaining from technology, and also to put those resources into our pockets. So it was just really exciting. So this debate, I gotta say, Yang, he did great. A huge thumbs up for me. I've never been more proud to be part of the Yang gang, and I just feel like Andrew Yang, he was so great. He met all my expectations, and I just think we're gonna keep growing and growing and growing. This Yang momentum is just gonna keep growing and peak at the right moment, like he always says. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you. If you liked this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or suggestions for some more videos you'd like for me to do, make sure you leave in the comments below. And if you want to see the next time I post and keep up with me, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you the next time that I post. Have a great day, guys. Peace.